sweet.
Very good.
Yeah. Sweet. Well, this is nice. Store set up great. Looks beautiful. The fish tank is awesome. And we're jumping on to another episode of the Ice Team podcast. This time we get to hang out at a lovely Scheels store. We're in Eden Prairie, Scheels. And when we talked about jumping on a podcast with Scheels last year, Drew and I right away said we have to do it in Eden Prairie because of that awesome fish tank. Every time I walk in here, guys, we're mesmerized by the saltwater tank here in the background. Lots of cool fish, great things to look at. I know my kids always want to take a picture by it. So that's, 1 second to admire that beautiful thing. It's pretty darn nice.
Do you guys have people swim in that thing, right? And clean stuff and...
Yeah, so we have a company that comes and once or twice a week comes and cleans it out and feeds the fish. So you'll see scuba divers in there. During like Halloween, they'll put up some decorations and different skeletons and pumpkins and stuff inside of there, which is pretty neat. But so if you ever see somebody scuba diving in there, they're either cleaning or feeding the fish.
And what do they feed them, live food, or is it just like pellets?
I think it's just pellets or something like that. I don't think it's...
So Logan and Dallas are joining us to start things off. Logan, you could probably catch half of them fish in there if you wanted.
Yeah, no kidding.
Maybe.
So Logan and Dallas are joining us here. They're members of the Eden Prairie team. I'll let them quickly introduce themselves, maybe formally let our audience know what you do here. And then, we're going to drill you with some questions. So, Dallas, go ahead.
Dale, sounds good. So like you said, my name is Dallas Knoop. I've been with the Eden Prairie Scheels here for just a bit over 3 years now. Started here at the grand store opening. My title, I work here as a fishing vendor analyst. So I do a lot more behind the scenes stuff, ordering, filling out, ordering product for the next seasons and stuff like that, and a lot of merchandising and other stuff on the floor as well.
So you're busy.
Yeah, busy for sure.
Especially this time of year when we see Christmas shoppers already showing up.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of getting prepped for that holiday season, but then already looking forward and getting prepped for the open water season next year even.
Oh, that's awesome. God bless you, man. Logan, let everybody know what you do. I mean, I know what you do, but let everybody know.
Yeah, so my name's Logan Swedberg. I'm from Lakeville, Minnesota. Been here at Scheels for almost 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a fishing specialist, so I sell stuff
mm-hmm.
and help customers get what they need or want. I love it here, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you are a bass head.
I am.
You chase big bass all summer. I know in the wintertime you're a massive ice angler, too.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's got to be a blessing. I know one of the many things I like about a Scheels store when I come in here, and it's funny, I was just talking to Tyler about this. My son mentioned it this morning when I dropped him off in the bus stop, how knowledgeable your staff are and how much fun you can have coming into a fishing section and talk fishing. It's one thing to be able to, I think, to my shameless Scheels plug, it's one thing to be able to come into a store and buy the stuff you need, right? But it's another thing to come in and get the advice, the expertise, the know-how, your questions answered. And I think when you put both those things together, you just have developed a winning formula.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that Scheels really prides itself on, is they put a lot of time and money and effort into training our associates so that our customers are getting the best experience and the best help that they can. That we're not just trying to push product, we're trying to help customers get set up to have that best experience, whether it's out on the water or out on the ice.
And it's fun to talk to customers about fishing and their stories they have.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's, so if we're going to jump into the history of Scheels because I'm interested. I don't know a lot about the true history of Scheels. I know Scheels as my fishing store, right? I go and get shoes there. I get stuff for Christmases for my kids, but I think before we jump into the nitty gritty of fishing, I would love to know, and I think our listeners would love too, to talk about, kind of how Scheels came about. How did it start? How did Scheels get its name? How did it come to fruition? Where was the first store? Things like that. I don't know who wants to tackle that one.
Yeah, I can jump on that for a bit.
Okay.
There's so much about that story and stuff that I personally don't even know yet. But starting out, the Scheels family immigrated from Germany in the early 1900s. They settled down near Sabin, Minnesota, and started a small potato farm there. They farmed potatoes on just a few acres, and from the money that they got from that, they put a down payment and opened up the first Scheels store, which was just a general merchandise hardware store in 1902 in Sabin, Minnesota. So that was going to be that small general merchandise store in Sabin is what ultimately turned into this fish tank behind us.
Wow.
So they operated as just a general merchandise and hardware store for the first 60 or so years of kind of what Scheels was, selling tools and farming equipment and lawn equipment. They went through different periods. I know that there was actually a time and point where out of the Scheels hardware store, they sold motorcycles for a little bit, which is crazy to think about.
Hey, I wish we sold those now.
Yeah. Logan to be taking a motorcycle to work.
Yeah. So operated as that for a while. I'm family owned, and it wasn't until 72 that they started kind of dabbling in the actual sporting goods side of things that you think about when you think of Scheels. And they just initially started with just athletic shoes and some very basic sporting goods and like bicycles. And then from there it branched out. They kind of operated like that, still as their general merchandise store with some athletic stuff for another 10 years or so. And then it wasn't until like the 80s where they were like, okay, this is the direction that this is going. And they made that hard push into the sporting goods world. And then it was just kind of, a rocket ship taking off from there into, what it is today. 32 stores now, all across the Midwest, Texas stores, Boise, Idaho.
Arizona one, right?
Yeah, Chandler, Arizona. That one just opened up this summer. We've got Nevada, Wichita, Kansas. I mean, all starting to predominantly located in the Midwest, but really starting to grow fast outwards. And
Wow, that's amazing. And I know Scheels, the name, there's a Scheels family.
correct, yeah.
And I remember the first time I met, I believe, Steve.
Yep.
Steve was several years ago. I went to the Fargo location. I had a meeting for Ice Team. We went and met with the marketing team and the sales team. It was awesome and great location up there too. And I remember we went down to the food area in the Scheels store.
Sure.
Little deli, you order a sandwich, chips, whatever, and I go through the line and another member of the marketing team, and we sit down and we had our sales rep, Craig Winkles, with us.
Yep.
And I remember a gentleman goes through the line, buys a sandwich, buys the chips. Mind if I sit by you guys? We're like, yeah, sit by us. He sits right across from me. We proceed to have a 10-minute conversation about fishing, hunting, whatever. And then he's like, well, I got to keep going. I got a lot of work to do. And he leaves. And I remember Craig looks at me and he goes, you know who that was? I'm like, wow, guy that works at Scheels. He goes, that was Mr. Scheels.
Yeah.
That was Steve. Like, that's the guy.
Right.
I'm like, what? Just the most down to earth.
Yeah.
Like, that was like that, to me, next level epiphany. Like, this is a cool place. Like, you got the top guy who, for a lot of companies, probably doesn't even, with all due respect, show up to work most of the time.
Right.
Usually,
Yeah.
he's walking through the line, buying a sandwich, and sits down and has small talk with somebody he's never met, and then continues to go to work.
Yeah. No, and I think that experience is what a lot of people will find as they get to know this business is, that family aspect of things and just that very humble, down to work kind of culture is, I think, a big part of what grew Scheels to what it is today. Currently 100% employee owned, so and that's a really big thing. There's a lot of pride that goes into this, but a lot of humbleness as well, and I think that just
That's cool.
I like how this play, like, every department, everyone's really good at what they do. It's not just like hunting or fishing like what we think of all the time. Like right now I'm looking at like shoes. There's some awesome looking clothing over here. I remember in high school, I think I was in Fargo for a hockey tournament, and I blew out like 5 rivets on my skate.
Yeah.
And it was like night, it was like 8 o'clock, and I'm like, God, I'm not going to be able to get these fixed for tomorrow morning, and looking around, all the sports stores are closed other than Scheels, and I'm like, do they have a hockey stuff? Roll in, I'm like, well, maybe I can get this rivet fixed. It's a pretty like specialized thing to do, right?
Sure,
Like you can't just rolling into any sporting goods place, and sure as heck, I got like 5 new rivets thrown on right away. I'm like, how did that happen?
Yeah.
Like walking into a big department store, like there's no way I'm gonna get a rivet thrown on.
Right.
Yeah.
Got it done.
Yeah, and while we are a giant store, it almost kind of operates as all these small little individual stores. We're just all in one building, but our associates are truly experts in the field that they're working in, whether it be shoes or fishing or hunting or our service shop guys. I mean, it's really specialized individuals working here.
And speaking of experts, we got Logan in the fishing department.
Yeah.
I know that one big thing that this store and many stores have coming up is the Ice Fest.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big deal for you guys. And the Eden Prairie Ice Fest is next weekend, which would be November 17th, 18th, 19th?
Just the 17th and 18th.
Just
the event's
17th, 18th, okay.
that Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
Both days starting at 9:30 at our store open. Friday going till 7 p.m. and then Saturday 5 p.m. or 5:30 p.m. I have to double check.
Logan will be here to sign autographs?
Dang right.
Are those for free or charging?
Oh, they're free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a great opportunity to come in. And there's many ice fests across the ice belt. I think they start this weekend with one in St. Cloud. Same weekend as your guys'. I think Fargo, Rochester. I think there's even one going on in Bismarck. There's one eventually coming down the pipeline in Sioux Falls, in Mankato. There's one in Colorado. So kudos to Scheels for putting on these opportunities for people to really come out and get questions answered, do their shopping. A cool thing about the Ice Fest is at Ice Team and Clam, we have a whole bunch of pro staff.
Yep.
You guys have got to know a lot of them. You've even partnered with some of these pro staff, which is wonderful. And that's a great opportunity at Ice Fest to meet industry pros.
Yeah, absolutely.
Reps, manufacturers are going to be in house. So if you want to come in and get questions answered as well in that regard, great deals, some great stuff going on. I think it's a great time to come in and stocking stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, not just do the fishing thing. So, like, if I come into Scheels to buy a lure or a rod, I will. Heck, I bought a bag of beef jerky this morning. So I'm probably going to buy something else.
Yep.
So Ice Fests are pretty cool. Do you want to tease anybody with what's going on at Ice Fest at all?
Oh yeah, I mean, just to talk on it a little bit, it's gonna be a big outdoor tent event. We're gonna have a lot of vendors and industry reps there, a lot of industry pros that you can talk to. We have a seminar series going with Jason Mitchell.
Oh boy!
So I don't know, I'm not sure if that's sold out yet. You'll want to check on our website. That one is a ticketed event, but lots of people are gonna be there, and Jason Mitchell will be bopping around after as well. We're going to have food trucks out there. We're going to have an ice castle dealer. There's going to be some power sports on display outside. So, I mean, it'll be a really cool event you won't want to miss out on.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah. What are you most excited about, Logan, for the Ice Fest?
Just talk to people.
Yeah.
I mean, I love talking to people.
I know.
Ice fishing.
Yeah.
I ice fish more than I open water fish.
Mm-hmm.
I love being on the ice.
Yep. Well, you had me at food trucks. So, I mean, that sounds pretty appealing. Okay, let's talk some newness in the world of ice fishing.
Yeah.
But I think before we do that, our listeners should probably know Scheels has a bunch of exclusives.
Yeah.
You have exclusive stuffs in all kinds of categories, not just the world of fishing.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, and that's something I know at Clam we always get excited about because it might be a lure or something with Vexlar, which is a partner of Ice Team, an ice fishing suit. So people can come to Scheels and find certain items that they can only find here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Whether, it be specific, bundles like that FLX12 with the lithium battery, or different colors of baits or colors of...
I'll grab those Gales quick.
Yeah, we've got a couple
Oh,
Gale jackets and this year
Those
with
are sweet.
blackfish, and those are really
Oh, yeah.
nice. And then, that Rise suit is going to be another one. But yeah, so this, Scheels Outfitters, Blackfish, Gale.
Yeah.
Really nice jacket, something that this colorway with the Scheels Outfitters logo, something you can only get here. That colorway in the Rise, and that's going to be a float suit from Ice Armor. Again, another really, really nice looking color pattern that is exclusive to here at Scheels.
I think that stuff's awesome. I mean, I know like at certain musky fishing events, they pride themselves on exclusivity and custom, right? And something different. And I think it's great that when you come into a Scheels store, there's certain things you can get that you can only find there. And I think it's unique. So a lot of guys and gals that come in, probably on Ice Fest even, they do it a ton, like you, Logan, right? They ice fish all the time. And sometimes, as a sales associate, you probably struggle with the guy that's got it all.
Right, definitely.
This guy's got, well, you don't have this.
Yeah.
I have this custom color that just came out this year. It's exclusive to us. And it's an easy one for them to go, well, there's my stocking stuffer. There's something I don't. Is it a matter of need or want, though, anymore? When it comes to ice fishing,
you need it.
you need it or want it? Okay.
Yeah.
You need it.
Because people are always like, oh, I need
Not
it,
even
I
a
want
question,
it.
man.
Yeah.
Just buy it. Worry about it later.
Yeah. Is it you? So you ask for forgiveness, not permission, right?
Bingo.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. I've been married for almost 15 years. Sorry, honey. Sometimes we ask for forgiveness instead of permission. It's especially at Scheels. This is the
most
easiest place to
definitely
walk
here.
in
Most
and
definitely here.
ask for forgiveness instead of permission. Logan, talking ice fishing.
Yeah.
You've already worked the department for weeks, right, with ice fishing gear stocked. What are some things you're excited about? What are some items out there that you're like, these are cool? What are some things that trendy that you're seeing customers ask for? What are some things that maybe our listeners might need to get on their wish list?
The new Tika Flash.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That bad boy right there.
Have you used it yet?
Not yet. But I got my hands on them.
I know. I got to use them last year. This is blasphemy, and we talked about this in our last podcast. The Pinhead Pro.
Yeah.
You guys have sold tens of thousands of that lure across your entire...
Absurd amount.
Easy,
Insane,
yeah.
right? Arguably the hottest thing to ever hit the ice. It's caught so many fish. And I made this statement last week, and I had everyone sitting next to me look at me like, you've lost your marbles. This might get the nod over the Pinhead Pro for me
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
It is a dynamite lure.
Yeah,
It flat out
it's-
works.
It looks really good. I haven't personally used it on the ice yet, but that tailspin style of bait now in that smaller panfish profile, I think it's really going to crush.
It's gonna be.
It's got like, I filmed it underwater a bunch last winter, and it dances a lot when you really jig it aggressively. But when they're coming in, fishes come up, you can slowly bounce that, and it almost has the same action of the pinhead,
Sure.
where it's just like straight up and down.
Just-
It's like it's
yeah.
not even moving at
Yeah.
all, but it's straight up and down, and that'll do the same thing. So you can kind of get crazy with it or go slower. Like
Yeah.
when they get a little more finicky, it's pretty sweet.
Kind
Yeah.
of switch it up and tailor it to that bite.
Yeah.
and-
Yep.
yeah.
And the fish, honestly, they'll hammer that thing. Like
Yeah.
they will just annihilate it. It's not the pinhead. Obviously, they come up from the bottom and hit that treble.
Right.
This one, they'll just T-bone that sucker
Yeah.
from the side.
For
Yeah.
sure.
What are some colors you're seeing flying off the shelves, Logan? If people need to get more specific
Yeah.
on a color, what is...
Wonder Bread,
Yeah.
I think, is pretty much gone
Yeah.
now, I think.
Wonder Bread's hot.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely the
Yeah.
big name in the industry for color wise is Wonder Bread. That was gold, just a
Gold,
solid gold is always a really good go to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonder Bread and Gold are like the green pumpkin for
Bass
Yeah,
fishing.
no, that's
100%.
exactly what it is. Like if you look at the colors
Yeah.
in that 3-pack there, you got a Wonder Bread, a gold, and a Fire Tiger. Like if
Tiger.
you were gonna pick three
Yeah.
colors, that's
It's like
it.
black and blue, green pumpkin. That's kind of all you need for bass fishing.
Yeah, maybe like
So,
yeah,
Tika Flash Kit, excellent stocking stuffer.
absolutely. Yeah.
So,
Oh, yeah.
like Dallas was saying, you got the best colors in one. You come in, you ask Logan. He can fine tune. He can a la carte you all you want for
Right,
sure.
right.
Get this, or you can grab one of these, tuck it in your nephew or niece's or grandson or granddaughter's stocking, and I'd want that.
Well, and like
100%.
like any angler, if you're picking up a new bait, you're not getting just one because then
No.
if you lose that one, now you have zero. So you got to get a couple different colors.
Yeah, you need multiple
Yeah.
colors.
This is
Yeah.
a fun bait to fish too. It's
Yeah.
not like you're just throwing down a hook and a minnow or a small tungsten. Like this thing's got some action and
Yeah.
it's new. So
Yeah, it's different for sure.
Yeah.
Like something the fish haven't heat up on a
100%.
lot.
All right, Logan. So talking fishing a little more. I know you spent a lot of time with the Crappie Chronicles. Those guys, those Hunyucks, they're out there chasing
Oh,
big
yeah.
crappies. Other than the Tika Flash, if I'm coming into the store right now looking for another option for crappies, what else is out there? What else should I be grabbing crappie panfish wise?
We talking lures or we just
Sure.
All right. Just drop kick jig.
Yeah, drop kick.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard to
Drop
beat.
kick jig.
Tungsten,
Yep.
tungsten's
Tungsten
king.
jig. Yep.
Yeah, drop kick. Oh, so we got Tika Flash, drop kick. Logan's telling you, stamp of approval, guaranteed to catch fish.
Yeah.
He will come in and fist bump you and give you a guarantee. Honestly, you're spot on. If you looked in my arsenal and probably
Say
Drew's,
if you look at the
what
tournaments,
we're fishing.
the UPL, everyone's got a spoon tied on, like a pinhead, or a tungsten of some
Yeah,
sort.
I mean that's
Yeah.
You get the vertical action, then you can get that horizontal, smaller dance of a tungsten. It's pretty cool.
yeah. All right. Speaking outside of tackle, what are some other new things? I mean, I think clothing in the world of fishing is always underappreciated.
Yeah.
I think we always look at what we did right away. We start talking new, cool, jewelry-looking tackle. We talk electronics. We talk rods. We talk fish houses, right? Clothing continues to, I think, to get underappreciated. And I think that has to do with how you layer, how you stay warm. So I don't care how warm you are or cold you are, if you're freezing on the ice, this means nothing.
Nope.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely
A
nothing.
lure means nothing.
Yeah.
The Vexlar means nothing. You want to go home.
Matt, remember 2 weeks ago when I texted you on Sunday a picture of the suit I just bought for hunting?
Yeah.
I was like, remember what I said? I was like, dude, this is like when I got my first ice armor suit. I like slapped myself thinking, what have you been doing your whole life?
Yep.
Enjoy it a little bit, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. Yep. I mean, we don't have an excuse to be cold.
No.
I mean, you have an entire area, not just of winter apparel, but you have an
Right.
entire area of ice fishing apparel.
Yeah,
So
specific.
it's specifically for ice fishing. So it's not like, oh, I'll get by with this. No, you have something if you are a diehard ice angler specifically for ice fishing, whether it's the suits we just showed off, the blackfish stuff, gloves.
Gloves are the big
I mean, how many options do you think you have in gloves? Just ballpark.
50.
50,
Yeah.
50, 60 different
Yeah.
styles of glove.
Yeah.
Just like ice fishing brand specific gloves.
Specific, yeah.
That's crazy. And to think people still complain about their hands getting cold.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
How?
Talking to people who, are new to Minnesota or haven't done the ice fishing thing yet, and they just don't understand how it's 20 below or whatever, and how we're out there. And
Yeah.
it's like, man, I tell you, with the clothing and stuff we have out there, you get your buddy heater going in your shack, you're stripping your
Yeah.
jacket off, bibs
Oh,
are
yeah,
coming
you're
halfway
nearly
down. I
shirtless.
mean, it's that stuff. It works, but then in terms of just being able to stay mobile and hole hop and not be freezing, it's huge.
I've seen like at least 3 or 4 Vikings jerseys go out the door already this morning too. So
Well, they're ramping
Yeah.
it back up.
that's what I'm
baby.
saying, dude. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Oh,
We
I
just
mean-
talked about it.
Yeah.
Josh Dobbs showed up out of nowhere
Yeah,
in
do you
left
guys have
field.
Dobbs
And
jerseys in here yet, or what?
I don't know. I bet we do.
No,
I can't
but-
say that for like guarantee, but we get on that stuff pretty quick.
I
might
may have
need
to
to go
shave
look.
my eyebrows for that.
now, can
That
you
would be a look. Can you do that for Fish Fest?
I may
yeah.
have to.
Yeah. I mean, Logan did just say he almost fishes shirtless inside the hub house. So, I mean, ladies,
Yeah.
if you're listening, Logan is going to be here during Ice Fest.
yeah.
Oh, I will. Be.
Oh my
He can
know-
plug his phone number at the end.
Now, Dobbs, not to get too off topic, can you imagine being a quarterback, joining a professional football team on a Wednesday, I believe,
Yeah.
and then being
Midweek.
asked to go play on Sunday because backup to the backup gets hurt
Yeah. I mean,
and crush it?
yeah, talk about just like not being totally aware of plays and the personnel and just that chemistry, that just no time, and then to come out and perform and do the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, that's impressive.
I'll be honest, I'm a diehard Vikings fan. I'm also a Minnesota sports fan, and we all know what that means.
Oh,
So when I saw, what's his name, Jaron Hall go
Yeah,
down,
yeah.
I looked at Jack, my son, and I said, we can't sustain anymore. This is that's the season, right? Like,
Right.
and you're not. It's not being a pessimist. You just kind of go, man, like
It
you
seemed
know,
like that was the reality.
Yeah, you're
of
like,
what it
this is
was.
what it is, and then Dobbs comes in. You're like, and then he gets, I think, the safety on like the first drive. You're like,
Yeah.
and then Osborne gets a concussion. You're like, this is it. Like,
this is it. Yeah.
it's time to focus on something else. And Dobbs comes in, glimmer of hope. Do you know who the backup to Dobbs was at that moment?
No.
Cam Akers.
Our running back
Who got hurt?
Yep.
who got hurt.
Who
Tore
got
his
hurt?
Achilles, right?
So there was a point
Yeah.
where our
Same.
backup to the backup's backup, Dobbs,
got hurt.
had no backup. And the dude crushes
Yeah.
it. So, man, if you're a Vikings fan or a football fan, like, that is fun
Yeah.
to watch.
I was like, I didn't know much about Dobbs other than he was on the Cardinals personally before this, and he's been on like a handful of teams. Like he's been battling his backup practice squad, and to come in and like he hasn't had that many games under his belt.
Yeah.
It's insane on
He
a team that's running
shined.
for the playoffs, and I don't know, pretty cool. That's
Yeah.
inspiring actually. you know?
I'm excited for Sunday now. Who do we play? The Saints?
Saints.
Okay. We got a lot of Packers fans out there, too. They had a victory, I know, this weekend. They got a dub. They're starting to roll and pick it up a bit. You know, NFC North, who knows? You know,
Cold weather sets in. The
Yeah.
NFC North heats up.
Yeah. Lions, if you're a Michigan fan, they're crushing it.
Hey, but not as good as Dallas's Ravens.
I got
over
to shout
there.
out my.
Yeah.
I'm a Baltimore fan.
Oh, Ravens,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
You know, Ravens are solid.
Marvelous.
They're he is the most dynamic running back, quarterback, running back, whatever, quarterback in football. And the reason I said running back because I was going to lead into how much he runs the ball
Yeah.
and how dangerous it is to have to look at that. I mean, we all know Michael Vick kind of pioneered that, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
But, you know, definitely taken to the next level. Lamar took it to the next level. And I don't think we have to play him at all, do we? Vikings? Good.
No, we don't.
No.
Perfect. That's
Josh
good.
Dobbs can run the ball too. We learned
He can run the ball, and I'm excited
Oh,
to
yeah.
see.
Just don't get hit, please.
So okay, that was a
Slide.
tangent off of a Vikings jersey leaving the building. But hey, we like football. I mean, that's a cool thing too about Scheels. You come in here, you don't just buy fishing gear. You can shop and get your favorite football player's jersey. You get sports cards. My kids come in here,
Oh, yeah.
and I know they get lost at the card place. They start
Yeah.
buying trading cards.
Yep.
I'm just saying,
So-
there's nothing better than being posted up in your hub house, ice fishing, watching the Vikings on your phone.
Yeah,
Tuck
yeah,
it in
yeah.
your
Oh,
little
yeah.
pocket there. You're watching your Vexlar. You're like, yeah, touchdown.
But yeah, just Sunday I was out fishing with a buddy. We were fishing Ford Dam, and he had the game going on his phone just in his pocket,
Oh,
so we
yeah.
were listening to it. And,
Yeah.
Big
that's a good time.
walleyes down there.
We got into a few.
Some great big ones down
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We didn't get any of those great big ones, but we got a few solid ones.
Awesome.
Yeah, and it was nice weather.
Oh, it's beautiful. It might be one of those last good days that we'll be out before it freezes over.
Yeah.
One of the last few times we were in here, Drew, speaking of watching TV hubbed out on the ice house, we bought stuff to go clamping,
We did.
which is our version of camping on the ice. And we came in here, we needed to buy a bunch of stuff for a trip we were going on. And I think we literally got everything we needed, which is another cool thing. Like the world of, we call it clamping.
Yeah, yeah.
Play on words. But you're camping in like an X600
Yeah.
in the new X800. And if I remember right, Scheels has a hub house that is absolutely massive
We could be filming in that house right
called
now.
the
Oh, yeah.
X1200.
1,200.
Yep, 1,200.
And it is two 600s put together.
Correct.
It-
I believe it's 21 feet by 10 or
It's a
11 feet.
monster.
It's
It is
yeah.
huge.
One of our sales associates was considering buying it to use to cover his duck boat this winter. And it would fit.
And the pond.
Yeah, yeah.
So that,
It's
speaking of
big.
camping,
That one's a beast.
like, how cool is it to see this? I don't want to say revolution's the right word, but where all these anglers are now camping on the ice in their hub houses.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely been the huge thing this last couple years for sure. You know, you look at guys like Mav and some of those guys that kind of pioneered that ice camping. And, I mean, it's a really fun thing. And I think it also gives people the opportunity who maybe can't get into that ice castle or Yeti or whatever it is and still be able to get out there and spend the night on the ice comfortably and,
Yeah.
you know, do it well.
Yeah.
It's a pretty fun deal.
And you don't need much to do it either.
No.
You just need a house and one of those foam pads you put on the ground.
Well, you can do it with like friends too. And, you know, like, let's say I remember in college, I had a hub house. My buddy had an auger. Other buddy had a heater.
Right.
And then we
You
can
can
all
all
go
win it.
fishing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you don't, I remember that's how we ice
Yeah.
fished a lot like that in college because you couldn't have everything in your dorm room, right? So,
Yeah.
or at the back of my car where it all eventually sat and froze all winter.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
that was pretty fun.
So listing some things out. So let's say on the topic of ice clamping.
Sure.
Let's say a family comes in right now and they walk up and they're like, hey, I saw this. What are some things do I need? I know you have most of it here. Like listing some things out. Cot,
Yeah, definitely need
You know,
something to lay
heater.
up off the ice to lay out.
heater.
Cot
You
heater.
can buy a butter heater. Probably cooking utensils.
Yep. Which we have all of that
Have
between
all
our
that.
food prep section and our actual camping section. We have, I mean, everything you'd need. Whether you're going to cook top on like the flex cooker from Mr. Heater,
Yeah.
or we sell jet boils. That's what I personally use for like my ice camping
Yep.
stuff, is a jet boil. And but yeah, I mean, cooking stuff we've got it pretty well covered.
Sleeping bag.
Yep.
Power source.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Power
What's the one we were talking about this the other day? Something Yeti. You sell it here. It's a inverter. You can plug into it. I saw it on your website. I forget the brand. Silver and green, whatever. It's a
Sure,
cool
yeah.
Oh,
looking inverter thing. I know you sell them here. I saw them on Scheels.com.
It was like those power boxes
yes,
things. Yeah.
we had them.
yeah.
You can
Forgot
run a
the name of
TV
them.
off at everything. Like
Yeah.
it's this big. They're $499.
Yeah.
and it'll power a TV. It'll power a microwave. It'll power your lights.
Gotcha. Yeah,
So,
I think those are over in our camping section.
Yeah.
because we have a couple like gas generators there. As
Yeah.
well.
Yep.
So you would need a power source.
Yeah.
Drew would need a TV, like you mentioned.
TV, all that fancy stuff.
Xbox.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
Xbox.
mean, like I'm just thinking of stuff that's cool.
TVs aren't that like you. Everyone has a phone, and a lot of people stream from YouTube TV or Netflix or whatever.
Yeah,
and you
yeah.
can just Apple Play it to your phone
Right.
somehow or whatever.
Yeah, Chromecast.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
whatever. it may
TVs aren't
be.
that expensive. It's like almost
Yeah.
Black Friday. Get one for like $200.
Yeah, yeah,
So you get all this stuff,
yeah.
and maybe you go fishing.
Right.
Yeah.
Rattle reels, people.
Oh,
Rattle
yeah,
reels.
definitely.
Oh,
right.
right. Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
I look at it like the four of us could all hop in one of these shacks, camp for a weekend, have an excellent time.
Yeah.
You know, you don't need a really expensive drop down fish house. Those are cool too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
I'm not
absolutely.
poo pooing like an ice castle. They're cool items, but you could have a hub house with maybe another $1,000 Get everything
Yeah.
you would possibly need to
Right.
sleep in there. And then if you decide you don't want to sleep in there because you want to be more mobile and chase walleyes and crappies, you just don't bring that stuff.
Right, exactly.
You just use the hub house and the heater.
Yep.
Yep.
Exactly.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'm seeing it more and more. As a guide in the metro area, I see more and more houses get set up on a Friday and not come down until a Sunday.
Yeah, or you'll see.
Yeah.
I see too a lot of guys that they'll set up that big hub camping as like their base camp, and then whether they have a one man or whatever type of flip over to go kind of run and gun during the day, stay mobile, and come back at night and just kind of camp out there.
Yeah.
We're doing that more this year,
Ice camping?
sleeping on the ice.
Yeah, sure. I mean, like if you're going up north to like a Leech or Winnie or even Lake of the Woods,
Yeah,
I'm not saying you don't need to stay at a hotel or resort. Like that's great, but if you would rather just stay on the ice, it's a great option.
just kind of maximize
Yeah.
that time fishing
For sure.
Yeah.
If you got 2 cars and take one back to town and grab a bite to eat, come back out if you don't want to do the cooking thing. But
Yep.
I don't know. I always think, like you said, maximizing fishing is awesome.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you do that in a hub house.
I think the reason we pack up some nights, especially with my kids, is because you need to pack up and get home.
Right.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, it's already an hour after dark. Like, we better get home. It's going to. Well, if you don't have to do that,
Yeah.
hey, I like it. I mean, I guess my advice would be to anyone listening would be first, stop into a Scheels store and get the stuff you need. I mean, the worst thing you want to do is get out there and go to cook.
Yeah.
And you're like,
Yeah.
did anyone bring utensils? We've done that. There's not a spoon. There's not a spatula. And you're like, well, this is going to be a lot of fun deep frying fish, and I don't even have anything to get the fish out,
Right.
So come through, talk to someone here, get a checklist, have fun brainstorming with the sales associate, And the other thing I wanted to say as a tip is if you are going to do the ice camping thing, from my perspective, you're setting yourself up so that when it's not daytime, you're comfortable and you're efficient, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I would set up on a spot where you think you have a chance at a walleye or some evening crappies
Yeah.
versus a daytime bluegill spot that once the sun goes down, you see nothing on your
They're
vex
not.
line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's
So
nothing
that would
there.
be my next piece of advice is to set up on a body of water or a spot where you think you have the best chance of maybe getting an evening walleye on a rattle reel or a school of crappies to come through again at midnight. So if you are in there and you are stationary for the time being because you've set up camp and you're probably not going to move till tomorrow, you maybe have a shot at catching some fish.
Yeah. Also, like with any ice fishing, like safety is paramount, and like a CO2 detector of some sort in any house is
100%.
when you're
Great tip.
sleeping.
Yeah.
Great idea.
Yep. And we carry those here too, so
Yeah.
we've got an option for you up in fishing.
You have everything.
Yeah.
Everything. Even Logan will give you fishing spots.
We don't have milk and eggs, but
Really?
we're getting
Yeah.
yeah, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, you could frap a fish.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're gonna catch fish. That's right.
I wouldn't know how to eat half the ones that are in that aquarium.
I have.
I don't
no
think
idea.
I'd want to touch
Is
them.
that salt water or what is
It,
that?
it is
Is it
saltwater.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, interesting.
No, those are freshly caught out of Lake Minnetonka.
Yep.
I wouldn't doubt some of it. Nowadays, there's goldfish everywhere.
True.
Yeah. Yeah.
True. Hi, I think we should talk a little bit because people are going to start doing their Christmas shopping. I shouldn't say start. I mean, we've seen a few hundred people come by and we've been open for 30 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
they're
Yeah.
flocking through the doors on a
morning.
Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
So let's talk Christmas wish list, and I'm cool. This can be anything. This doesn't need to be just ice fishing. So let's maybe come up with some ideas for listeners that must have Christmas wish list. Like it can be trendy in any department. And I don't mean to put you guys in the spot. This is a question I'm asking them
Yeah.
literally right now.
Yep.
I got the fishing department guy here. Probably need to tell us about shoes. But what are some things if the listeners are looking to Christmas shop? Some things you're seeing going out the door, maybe a little more, not just fishing, anything in general at a Scheels store.
Yeah. You got anything, Logan?
A lot of jerseys. I mean,
Jerseys.
those sell a ton.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot go out lately.
And if you don't know, we can personalize jerseys in house we generally carry all of the Minnesota team blanks, and we can personalize jerseys in house. So if you have that player that you like, but maybe they're not a big
Yeah.
name to where they're
Yeah.
not carrying them in stores, we can make those. We can put your last name on there, customize the numbers. So we do offer that here.
So Drew could play for the Minnesota Wild.
He could.
He could.
Wow, amazing.
Dreams come true
Sweet.
here.
So jerseys, that's a big one. That's my kids ask for jerseys, right?
Yep.
Yep.
That's a good one. What else? What else are you seeing flying out the door that kind of must have?
Yeah, I mean, I know one that's on my personal wish list. I do a lot of smoking and stuff on my Traeger,
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'm looking. The Traeger that I have has an internal probe, but it doesn't have the wireless connection functions.
Sure.
So they make, it's called the meter thermometer.
I've seen that.
Yeah. So they're Bluetooth connective. So it's a small little wireless thermometer that you can probe that you can put into your meat, and then it connects to an app on your phone, and so you can check your temps and everything from there. They're like $99.99 for one, and then there's a 4-pack, and you get
That's cool.
There's a better price on it,
Why?
but
I remember, I think it was last week, Matt Waldron came in, and I saw him, and we were just talking. He opens his phone, and he goes on an app, and I go, "What are you doing?" He goes, "Oh, I'm checking my ribs that are smoking." I mean,
That's cool.
It showed him, like, the temperature, everything.
So, correct me if I'm wrong. You're an expert more than I am. I run a Traeger grill at home as well.
Yep.
But you don't need to have a Traeger to buy that.
Correct. That you could use that, whether you're doing a turkey in the oven, if you have a Weber. I mean, that it works with anything. Yeah.
That's a must-have.
cool. Yeah.
To me, Drew knows I love to cook and eat food and smoke meat and stuff. We did a pork butt this weekend. That's a must-have tool for many different people, I think, to have.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, like myself, I said, my Traeger has the internal probes, but without that Wi-Fi stuff, and so just to be able to not have to run outside every 20 minutes to check, or if I want to run to the store, I can keep my eye on it, and if I need to rush back, I can. And
Yeah. That's cool. So Waldo's cooking ribs. Logan, that's how important you are to Matt Waldron. He came in here to talk to you while his ribs were at home cooking.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So the real question
is
is
this during the week?
I think it was, yeah.
Waldo, what
Uh-oh.
are you doing? Yeah.
Did you get any of the ribs?
that was I was
No.
just gonna ask.
I didn't get anything.
Matt Waldron, if you're listening, you did your boy dirty.
Yeah.
You teased him with ribs. You talked about ribs, and you didn't bring him any.
He was hungry all
Yeah,
day.
not good, man.
Yeah. I mean, he's gonna steer you in the wrong direction. Next time you come in here, he's gonna send you to women's underwear instead of ice fishing gear or something like that.
I wonder if Studer gets any ribs from Waldo.
Probably not. No, Waldron's fit now. Matt, don't chastise me here, but I think you've lost like 70 pounds.
Wow.
Matt Waldo, because we did a podcast at Vexlar a few weeks ago. Dude looked awesome. I just imagine how bad these crappies are going to get punished this winter now that
man.
he's a few steps quicker.
We're gonna get murdered.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh.
Efficient.
Can't run.
So we have, I like it, jerseys, the meter
Yeah, meter.
from Traeger. That thing's awesome. Maybe something for our furry friends. We were walking upstairs. I was grabbing a bag of beef jerky this morning, and I walked past an insane section of stuff for your pets.
Yeah.
So you can come in here and get a Christmas gift for your dog.
Yeah, I mean, we've got
yeah.
aisles of dog toys and treats and different training devices and stuff.
Drew got excited. He's got 2
Sarah,
pups.
last week. So I was gone, and Sarah was at home, and she left the dogs for, it was quite a while, like half day or something, which they're fine being home most of the time, but our younger one must have got a little antsy, and he actually chewed up a piece of the brand new LVP flooring I put in last year.
Oh, no.
Right in the middle by the door. And I'm like, that's not good, because you can't just pop one off.
Right. You
And-
start from the edge.
Sarah's like, you have to fix this. And I'm like, I think that might be pretty tough, So then I got home, and I'm like, I know exactly how to fix this. And I found a floor mat, and I just went over the top of it. I was like, perfect. We'll worry about this later. I should get him just a better toy here, though, today.
What do they say on the Red Green Show? If women don't find you handsome, at least find you handy.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
So that's like the duct tape of fixes for you. Just
Oh my
throw a
God.
rug over it.
I wasn't
I've
even
done
mad.
that.
I'm like, I'm not even mad. I'm impressed. How did you get that up? That
how do you
was
get
insane.
his teeth into that? It
Oh, it was
Yeah.
incredible.
Dogs are crazy.
Oh yeah. We have a hole in our wall, and I put a picture frame over it. So that was So when we go to move someday, and you pull that picture frame, I have to fix some sheetrock, because we were one week into our house. This was 2014, and Jack blows a hole through the wall about head height. So there's it's actually a mirror. That's in a very awkward spot. People still go, "Why do you have a mirror there?" I'm like, "I don't know, it looks cool right there." There's a hole. There's a hole behind it. It's been there for 9 years.
Oh, that's good.
So something for the furry friends. You have all kinds of clothing. I'm looking around. Like Drew said, behind me there's shoes. I've bought shoes here, bikes. I mean, there's everything. There's scented candles.
Yeah, we've got a whole home decor section. We sell furniture, couches, side tables, all
You
of
need
that.
a couch. We got
Yep.
That's
A couch.
a couch.
Is that where you take your breaks?
No.
Do you nap in the decor
You'll
furniture?
catch
I
him
may
in there.
have to now.
That's a good idea.
Logan's got a Red Bull sitting there, well, not even open yet, actually.
No,
Yeah.
not yet.
Oh boy.
Oh, boy.
What is Logan like on Red Bull?
No, Dallas.
It's
What am I like?
he's hard to keep up with.
Oh man.
You can get live bait here too.
Yeah.
Saw a dude
That
walking
live
with a
bait?
bucket.
Oh, yeah.
That's kind of cool.
Live bait for sure.
Live bait. So I mean, this is a kind of a one-stop shop. I have done my Christmas shopping here, I must admit. I brought the family. There is something for everybody. One of the great advantages of a Scheels location is you can come in and get everything from your favorite snack to something for your dog to a new bicycle and everything in between. It's pretty cool. Toys.
Not to mention ride a Ferris wheel.
Yes.
Yeah. We have a Ferris wheel in the center, which I don't know that you can see through the fish tank, but
It might be at a.
it's a full-size Ferris wheel. It's $1 to ride.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
You can hop on
We'll
and
have to get you guys on here after this wraps up.
all right. Yeah, I'm not scared. You scared of heights, Drew? So you're good? All right, Drew's good.
There's a dog down here too.
Yeah, dogs are welcome in the store as
Yeah,
well.
I figured that. I see a lot of them.
Yep.
There's
All
got to
right.
be hundreds of dogs that come through.
Oh,
there every
absolutely.
day.
It's encouraged.
yeah.
It makes our day. It's
Yeah.
awesome.
I
yeah.
pet every single one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dallas
Logan
knows.
seeks them out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Logan, the dog whisperer.
Yeah.
All
Sometimes.
right. All right. I like it.
Sweet.
So your Christmas shopping is easily complete here. That's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
And you can obviously come on Ice Fest and see some cool ice fishing stuff going on. But you can come here anytime, obviously, and do your Christmas shopping Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You guys are open. You can shop on Scheels' website.
Yeah. Online.
You can do store pickup too, right?
Correct. Yeah,
so-
you can buy online, pick up in store.
Yeah, it's easy to where you can come here, grab some. So if you're all doing the couch thing, you can order it online, come pick it up. They'll load it in the back of your pickup truck, which is pretty cool. I did not know you could buy a couch at Scheels.
Yep. Most of it's like custom special order stuff. Yeah, you
Sure.
can pick out your fabrics and layout and stuff like that. But yeah, we do all that here.
Dude, Drew can get his skates fixed so he can keep playing hockey.
Skate tonight, yeah.
You skate
Should've
tonight?
brought him in. I could get him sharpened up.
Yeah.
You
Been
need
like
the
a
Red
year.
Bull. You
Yeah.
will tomorrow.
Later, I
You'll
will.
need the Red Bull tomorrow.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I mean, like I know when I walk like the ice fishing section of Scheels, you know, I usually do a once over. And, you know, maybe this is an opportunity to give a little bit of retail purchasing tips. And I always tell people when they walk into a retail store, it can be overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you look at the
Absolutely.
roll of ice fishing rods, tackle, soft plastics, anything, right? You know, unless you're a very astute student of the game and you study every nook and cranny of everything going on, even myself walking in, you go, huh, what do I need? What should I get? This
Yeah.
and that. So I always tell people, first do a lap, you know, walk through, look at everything, see what catches your eye, maybe get some feelers for things. And then it's always nice to grab a Logan or somebody and be like, hey,
Yeah,
you know what, can
definitely.
I pick your brain for a minute?
Yeah.
I'm looking to go crappie fishing.
Yeah.
And then you get to jump in and ask all the fun questions you get to ask.
Yeah, that's the fun part.
Like,
Yeah.
so if I walk into a store, just to give some of our listeners some advice as they're starting to do their Christmas shopping or ice fishing shopping, you know, what are some things, what are some questions they should be ready to be asked? Like, what are some things they walk in? What are some of the first things you ask that ice fishing customer to make sure they get outfitted with the right gear?
Like, what depth of water do you normally fish in?
Yep.
What time of the day?
Sure.
What species you're after is the biggest one.
Yep. Yeah.
That eliminates a lot of lures from each of one another.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, just the basic questions,
Yep.
and we can just dial it in from there.
Yeah, I mean, I think species is spot on. So
Yeah.
if I walk in and I'm like, I'm looking for an ice fishing rod, you're going to go, well, dude, what are you fishing
Yeah.
for? Because I'm not
Panfish
going
or
to.
lake trout.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you a
Yeah.
lake trout rod if you're going to go to Minnetonka and in
Catch
Black
bluegills,
Lake and
yeah.
catch bluegills.
Yeah.
So once they say, hey, Logan, I'm doing crappies, then you really can dial them in on
Yep.
what do you plan to fish? Do you like spoons, whatever? And that's one of the advantages of coming here and getting your questions answered. But, you know, it is intimidating. We get that question a lot at Clam when they browse, let's say, the website.
Yeah.
Which panfish lure to get? Which color?
I think what it comes down to is, like Logan said many times, you just like talking to people, and that's when we're working shows, it's the same way. I'm like, what are you fishing for? Like, I want to know.
Yeah,
You know, like I
absolutely.
don't want to know your spot,
Yeah.
but like I'd love to give you some ideas.
Yeah.
I mean, if I were to give a customer a piece of advice, it would be to come chat us up. I mean, we're
Oh, yeah.
we're all hardcore fish heads up there, and
Oh, yeah.
we want to talk about it. And you get us rolling, we'll probably slip some stuff up, some secrets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, just
Oh,
talk
yeah.
to us about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
That's what we love to do. It's a lot more fun to talk to you guys and stock shelves. So
Yep.
that's what we're here for.
Yep. So come in. The staff's approachable. That's a great piece of advice by all three of you. When you come in, you know, you shouldn't have to scratch your head and look around and be perplexed. You can grab an associate and really dive into the weeds if you want to on certain
Yeah.
things. And like Drew said, you might get a little tidbit of advice, and you want spots. Don't kid yourself.
I actually don't. I'd rather find it on my own. It's more rewarding.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Seriously.
You know, but it happens where you sit and show maps. You know,
Oh,
grab all
definitely.
your cell phone and show
Yeah.
a picture
Oh,
of a
yeah.
catch and how you caught it, and that's part of the fun. It's one of the beauties of fishing is to Drew's point, the chase, the battle. You know what's coming
yeah.
up next, and ice fishing to me is even more exciting because I'm literally looking down a 6 or 8 inch hole in the ice.
Yeah.
It's a very intimate sport.
Yeah.
You're not fan casting a weed line.
No.
You're dropping down a hole right in front of you. The people that, like, we had a conversation. We have a bunch of guys on our Blackfish Pro staff that are from Alabama, Louisiana, Arkansas, North
Right.
Carolina. Right? They don't. We start talking. I had one conversation yesterday with one of our guys, and you start talking ice fishing. It's so foreign that they can't even comprehend how it works, and it blows their mind. One, that we even go on the ice.
Yeah, yeah.
2,
And drive
that-
on it.
Yeah, that we
And drive.
cut a hole.
Yeah.
And then it blows their mind that 3, how do you catch a fish right there? Because if you put it into bass fishing relation, it's like dropping your lure over the side of the boat and just vertically jigging on one spot, anticipating that you catch something.
Yeah.
And if you ask most bass anglers, they never do that.
Never.
No.
And if they did, they would probably catch nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we do it day in and day out ice fishing.
You have to be, you have to just be so much more intentional about where you're setting up, what structure, it's,
Yeah. Yeah, so that's where things like electronics come into play. Underwater
Ice-
cameras. You
Ice
know.
fishing helps make you a better open water angler. 'Cause,
Sure.
Like days when I'm bass fishing and I'm like they're not biting that well. It's not because I'm not by the fish, because I probably am, right? Like if
Right.
you go around enough part of the lake, like you're gonna be in front of a bass, but sometimes they just don't bite, and you see that ice fishing.
Yeah.
Like how are there 20 crappies beneath me, but none of them are eating?
Yeah.
Or they just don't. There's something you're doing wrong, or they just don't want to eat that day. They're not that aggressive, right? Same thing for bass. So whenever I'm like bass fishing, I'm like, man, am I in the wrong spot? Like I fish deep, shallow, structure, dock. Like they just are not in a feeding mood,
Right.
Yeah,
and you learn that from ice fishing. So.
yeah,
Oh, 100%.
yeah. And then you throw another monkey wrench in there to make you even more frustrated. You drop your underwater camera down and you see them.
Oh,
And you're like,
yeah.
that's a nice one.
Yeah.
And you see it come up to your bait.
Oh, yeah.
Sniff it.
Yeah.
Knows it. Yeah.
Yeah. The Vexlar is your best friend on the ice, but it also is your best friend that you hate sometimes because you do see, like Logan said, you see a fish, actually know that's a fish.
Yeah.
Why won't you bite? Like maybe in the summertime, yes, forward-facing sonar, you can see things come up and, that's really changed the game, right? I hate using the word game changer, but it's changed the game.
Yeah.
But when you're ice fishing and I have my, FLX 12 or 20 or 28 or 30 or whatever it is, and I'm looking, that is 100% a fish.
Yeah.
He is right on top of my bait,
Yep.
and he gave me the Heisman, and he went the other direction. You know,
You just see him go back down.
but that's what keeps us coming back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, oh,
That's
yeah.
part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thrill, the chase. And we've always said, like, if all you did was catch fish every time you went out nonstop, would it not be as fun? Would eventually it not be as fun? I don't know that because we all have days where you just don't
Yeah.
catch them that well.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody can say they just go out and they hammer them every single day the exact way they want, the exact size of fish they want. It
Logan
just-
might be pretty close to doing
Logan,
that.
yeah,
but-
Logan's our exception. but you know what I mean? Like it's one of those things where it's like the thrill, the chase, the tough days, the reward after the tough days. To me, that's what keeps me ticking.
Yeah, definitely the reward.
Mm-hmm.
Fishing a different style, don't fish the basin crappies, maybe go in the weeds. Like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'd love to do more of that. Like,
Yeah.
That's
It's always so rewarding when you have an idea about something or you want to try something different and you kind of formulate this plan and then to put it into fruition and go and catch fish it's the best.
Most of the time it doesn't work out either.
No, it doesn't.
No.
Like
Yeah.
9 out of 10 times strike out.
I'm gonna go throw this bait I've never thrown before, but I'm gonna
That
go
one
do
time
it.
could be special.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's awesome. Yeah.
Usually when it does work out, though, to Logan's point, it is something special.
Rewarding. I remember one time Matt, you'd have laughed. Getch and I were driving snowmobiles through the woods because I was like, oh, I see this little lake back on Google Earth. Like, it's got to be deep, And like we spent like 2 hours trying to get these old snowmobiles through the woods, and we got them stuck, and we just grabbed our augers and rods and stuff, went down there, and we didn't catch anything. That's the moral of the story. But it was a funny story.
you were with
nonetheless. Yeah.
Way to go, Getch.
But one of the times you do that, then there's a 17 hiding there or something.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
That's,
Yep.
Yeah. We had one time on Tonka. You remember years ago we were fishing with Colt Ringer from Akaview.
Yeah.
And we were chasing somewhat nomadic basin fish, call it, deeper water, 17, 25 feet of water. And they were just stalled out. You could see them on your Vexilar, on your underwater camera. They're very just almost zombie-like.
Right.
Yeah.
They weren't biting anything. So we slid up into the weeds, like to Drew's point, like you make a move. So we went up into the weeds, which to most ice anglers is foreign.
Yeah.
You go fish in the weeds in the wintertime? No, there's nothing there. It's like, okay, you are wrong. Like, having run a fishing league for 23 years, they fish in the weeds. We went up into the weeds, and we found pay dirt. We pounded big crappies, lots of them. And the most comedic thing I thought in that moment is, as we're catching these fish, numerous times we kind of looked around like, man, we should probably not be as apparent, because like 30 yards away from us,
There's people here.
Nobody's catching anything.
Ice Castle City.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're like, oh boy, like, and people would come up to us once in a while, and we were, what do you catch? I think, oh, no, I'm not catching much, just kind of jigging. And I remember one time Drew catches one, trying not to catch one. He's like, dude, I got one on. And there's a guy standing next to me like, you catch anything over here? And Drew's got one on his line, like letting it play out. So, yeah, sometimes those small moves can make a big difference. 100% spot
The
on.
underwater cameras certainly help out when you're going in the weeds.
Definitely.
Like, obviously your Vexilars and stuff are great for when the fish are beneath you, but when you're shallow, like, a fish could be 2 feet away, but I'm not reading them on my flasher. That's
Right.
where if you spin the underwater camera around, like, you're like, holy smokes, there's like a milfoil patch here.
Yeah.
And there's like
Yeah.
a hard edge. No
Yep.
wonder the fish are cruising here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And cameras are fun because you learn so much.
Oh my God.
You learn so much about what's, like, Logan will know this, Dallas knows too. Like, if you ice fish a ton, you use cameras, right?
Yep.
You run around, you hole up, you have the handhelds, whatever it might be. How many times there are fish, like, in a weed bed, and how many there are
Oh,
that you have no idea.
crazy.
So that day on Tonka, we were like, I had the one camera recording for like a half hour straight. And when we got back, I was just looking at the footage, just scrolling through fast. And it was just like a highway of crappies moving on the same path.
Yeah.
I'm like, how are they doing that? Like,
Yeah.
they're not going out, they're going right down Broadway.
Right down the middle.
Yeah, I'm like, if you sat there all day, you'd catch your limit of like nice, 10 to 13-inch crappies. Like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And every angler in that bay
It's fishing the basin.
was fishing the basin.
Yeah.
And we're not talking 5, we're talking hundreds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the ice castles.
We're fishing
They're catching
40
like
yards away.
Yep.
8 to 9 inch crappies at night.
Yeah.
A couple of them, right?
Yeah.
Who have to like navigate their way, not through milfoil, but through fishing lines to try to find theirs.
Right,
Like a
And we're catching
gauntlet.
11s and 12s
Yeah.
and 13s in the weeds. We're not giving up the spot.
Yeah.
So
You can apply
Good-
that in
yeah.
a lot of places. Though.
Yes.
And
Oh,
I just think the
100%.
idea of that of just staying mobile, not being afraid to move, not being afraid to switch it up, try stuff different. I
Yep.
mean, it's huge through the ice, especially when you are delegated to a 6 or 8 inch hole.
Yeah.
Be okay with giving up on that plan and going to the next one.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
think last year we talked to Rates, who fished the UPL, all the tournament stuff, and I think he was telling us like his strategy for like when he used to break down like a weed flat, and he loves fishing that shallow stuff, and like you move a lot.
Yeah.
There might
lot,
be
yeah.
one juicy little sweet spot on a football field sized flat that is housing all the fish.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or specifically crappies, when they're on the move, you might hit that school for a few fish, but then they're not, now they're 20 yards away and you got to run over there. And
One thing too I've seen from a lot of people right now is like if you have your boat still ready to rock, like go out, do some side imaging,
Yes.
do some
Yeah,
scanning,
yeah.
see where the fish are, because in a month they'll probably be in relatively the same area.
Excellent
Yep.
tip.
Whether it's deep or
100%.
shallow,
Yep,
find
yeah.
those weed lines.
It's a great tip.
They're starting to get into those winter holding patterns,
Oh, yeah.
and it'll be relatively the same, give or take a few feet.
Maybe I'll bring the boat up north this week.
You should. You should. I want a fish fry, so if you catch a bunch, bring some back.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
Providing for the Johnson household.
Yeah.
Gosh.
I have a whole harem of kids at home, so I have a couple questions for you guys here.
Sure.
I think this would be a fun one. On the topic of ice fishing, right? That
Yeah.
seems to be our theme here for sure. I'm going to ask each of you the same question, so I'll let Dallas go first, give Logan a chance to think about it.
Yeah.
And now, if I walk in, I'm a customer. I ask Dallas, I need that trip for ice fishing. Where do I go, and what does it look like? So somebody walks in, I'm looking to plan an ice fishing trip. Me and a couple buddies.
Yeah.
Where should I go? What's one of them bucket list trips for you?
Yeah, I think for me, it was actually a trip I just did last year. It was me and 3 other guys from here. We went up to Winnipeg. We did,
Oh, boy.
yeah, and
Let's go.
we went through icebound excursions.
Okay.
They do snow bear rentals. You can rent just the snow bear, or for not that much more, you can do snow bear and a guide. And
They just let you take the snow bear?
yeah, so there's
Oh my
2
God.
options. You can just take the snow bear, and they come decked out with
Yeah.
Mega Live in there set up. So I mean, they have a
Dang.
Mega Live unit at the front, a Helix 7 set up as a flasher in the back.
That's ours.
Yeah, they got flashers. They'll give you an auger if you want. I mean,
What does that cost today? Just out of
gosh,
curiosity.
you know what? I think it was.
because that's pretty sweet.
I think so. So I think between the 4 of us, so we went the Airbnb route. We found a
Yeah.
real cheap Airbnb, and then so Airbnb and we did 2 days of guided fishing in the snow bears.
Yep.
I think it came out to just under $1,000 a person.
That's not a bad
That
deal.
is not bad
at
what-
all.
Yeah,
It's
that's
really good
phenomenal.
pricing, especially. And 4 is the max you can do in the snow bear, and I would say 4 plus the guides. So 5 of us in there was pretty tight. 3 may be a little bit better of a fit in there, but man, I mean, it was an awesome time. The first day that we were up there, it was on. It's funny thinking about a cold front in Winnipeg, but it got even colder than it was, and
I'm glad you're in that thing.
they were pretty tight-lipped, and we got a few of them. But that second day, as it moved into I think it was the second or third day of that cold front, they started snapping, and oh my gosh, we hammered them.
So I don't know a ton about Winnipeg. I've never been there. I
Yeah.
want to go soon.
Yeah.
Did the big walleyes kind of hang out together in the same school? Because I heard you can catch a walleye in a lot of places, but the
Yeah.
big ones are
Yeah.
in the
Yeah, they're definitely kind of cruising together. They'd come in a couple or a 3-pack. One of the things that just blew my mind is how shallow we were fishing. I mean, we think of
couple feet.
like
under the
6
ice.
feet, but 6 feet deep, and they're coming in 2 feet under the ice. I mean, you're
Yeah.
thinking about live imaging. You've got
Yeah.
your screen, and you'd be jigging in the middle or down towards bottom,
And
and
you
a
just-
fish would come underneath the bottom and just smoke it. And it was just such a different thing because I walleye fish a ton through the ice. That's
Yeah.
predominantly what I do during the ice season. And it was almost like relearning how to walleye fish up there. It's just so different than thinking about. I fish leech a lot, for example. How I fish walleyes on leech in terms of just not just where they're located, but how you fish them. Fishing on leech, we're fishing relatively close to bottom. You're kind of slowly working it up, just real
classic
feather.
walleye bite,
Yep.
yeah.
Okay, they went back down, coming down. But up on Winnipeg, you straight up had to reel it away from them. It was like
Lake trout.
it seriously seemed like you were lake trout
They
fishing.
feed suspending
Yeah,
constantly, no matter where they are in the lake.
and they come smoking
They're
in.
chasing shiners, right?
Yeah.
Big schools.
Yep.
And
How
shiners
big?
probably
What was
go-
your biggest fish?
The biggest of the trip was 27 and a half.
Yeah.
But the way that they're built up there is so crazy. I think that was the biggest of our group. My biggest that I caught when we were up there was a 25, and we didn't have a scale. But if I were to bet, it wasn't my longest walleye, but it might have been my heaviest. I mean, it was
Yeah.
just
a-
built.
It was a
stout.
tank.
Yeah.
The greenbacks are built different.
Oh, then my gosh, and they fight so hard. Well, especially when you hook them 3 feet under the ice, they're
Oh, yeah.
ready. They're
They're
still
juiced
going.
out.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, but that was I think that was my bucket list trip
Yeah,
for sure.
that sounds
was
like it.
What'd you use to catch them?
it was actually different than kind of the traditional Winnipeg strategy is the rattle bait, and we caught a couple on them. It's going to sound funny, jigging a minnow. I
Yeah,
mean that's
sure.
what it was. One of the hardest things to get used to is fishing barbless hooks. Yeah,
Yep.
because Manitoba's all
Oh, yeah.
barbless.
Yeah.
Yep. That
Would
was-
they shake the lure a bunch? or-
Yeah, it was definitely, it wasn't necessarily shaking the lure. The hard part was, you're in the snow bear, so you've got a couple feet that way, plus, however much ice there was, getting them to get head up the hole without letting go any tension. Because if you drop tension in the line, it'd slip
Yeah,
right
those
off.
big head shakes
Yeah,
and
so
stuff.
that was part of our problem the first day, too, was kind of getting that part down of how you keep that tension while trying to get them up the hole. And
Like, what would you say is a tip? Like, what for, like, rod, line for keeping the
yeah,
farthest?
yeah, for sure. I think
Like, what?
for me, I used a JT Black Rain, so that kind of that medium heavy, that stouter rod. I think
Yep.
that was huge, especially for how heavy those fish are and how hard they fight, and just trying to keep a handle of them while you're trying to work them. And then I ran a 10-pound fluoro.
Straight fluoro.
Yeah,
the
just
whole way?
straight fluoro, and that worked well for me.
So Dallas says Lake Winnipeg.
Yeah.
100%. I would agree. That's one of my bucket lists. Logan, what's yours?
Mine, a lake in Canada where no one has been or hasn't been that much,
Yeah.
and just hammerfish.
Yeah.
Like, if that's going on a plane
Yep.
and landing on the ice, I don't
Yep.
even know if they do.
They do.
Yeah,
I've heard of that.
flying ice trips. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I want to do.
Yeah. So you're walleye focused as well.
Yeah, I want to. Yep.
Yeah. Fly
You would
way
have
up into
loved
Canada.
The trip we went on last year to Baker's Narrows for the lake trip, but one day we went walleye fishing, and it was like a 40-minute snowmobile ride to this lake.
So
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it was cool. Like, it's a big lake, but
Yeah.
there's only one spot that people fish. There was a couple other groups there, but you get there and it's like, noon, drill a hole, immediately catch like a 22-inch walleye. You're like, what in the
yeah,
hell?
just
Like,
right away.
yeah, like you're looking at your forward facing and the fish are just coming in hot. I'm
Yeah.
like, this is crazy. Like, we got huge whitefish, walleye, pike, and we fished a 0.5% of the lake.
Yeah, yeah.
And this thing is huge. And we drove through 5 of the lakes to get here.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a different world out there.
So
Like,
different.
it's crazy.
The fish are so wild too.
They're like dark gold. They're awesome. They look like
Yeah.
old fish,
Yeah,
nice.
that's my dream trip.
If I were to circle back on the Winnipeg thing, I thought about something. Bring extras of stuff. So we did the guided 2 days, but then we went out the first day just on our own, and that lake will chew you up.
Broke everything.
Yeah, I think I still got
Augers.
suspension on my Dodge Ram out there. I mean,
I heard that's a beast.
it's a tough lake, but yeah. Well,
Matt,
It can be
how
worth
much,
it.
How many days is Cornell guided a year out there? It's got to be 100.
He guides a ton.
I
He's
could
a,
not imagine that, man.
he's a beast,
It's
and I
brutal.
know he goes through a lot of augers
yeah.
Yeah.
a year. A lot of machines get broken. Like it's like the Lake of the Woods thing. Like you go up to those resorts like Borderview, Arneson, Sportsman's that rely on bombers.
Yeah.
They plan, no joke, on any given day, one if not two of their bombers will be out of commission. They plan on it.
Yeah.
So they start the season with 5, 8, 10, whatever.
Yep.
They plan on once the season gets going, that one or two of their bombers will not be usable because they're being fixed. They have mechanics that pretty much full time fix their bombers. So as the customer that goes up there with smiles on our faces and we get all of our gear,
Yeah.
you don't realize what goes into being an ice guide in some of those more extreme conditions. Like I guide in the Twin Cities. We have tough days, sure, but we don't go through that. I'm not
No,
spending
no.
thousands of dollars to repair my gear every week.
Right.
I'm not dealing with those kind of conditions. So I guess my advice, kind of feeding off of what Dallas said, is if you are going up there and doing that stuff, an ice guide is needed for a peace of mind, for a piece of sanity, and to also preserve yourself and your gear.
Yeah.
Like this is the world they live in. They know how, like you said, you went off on your own
Yeah.
and you broke all kinds of stuff, which any one of us four would probably do.
Oh, 100%.
But as an ice guide up there, they just know how to navigate those
Yeah,
things.
yeah.
I had a huge amount of respect doing the Lake of the Woods thing every year and watching these guides out of these bombers and what they have to go through every single day to get thousands of people on the ice a year.
When
Like, it's crazy.
when we were at Baker's last year,
Mm-hmm.
so we met with JP Tessier, who's a Lake of the Woods guide. He has houses all winter that he gets people on fish, and then Cornell from Winnipeg. And we go to this, like, Baker's like 14 hours north of here. Like, it's far up
Yeah,
there.
that's
And like to us, I'm like, this is like a big deal. Like we got to have our stuff together, you know, like check this and that. It's going to be intense. And
Right.
this was their like end of the season little celebration, laid back trip. They're like, isn't
Yeah,
it great?
yeah.
Oh yeah, we'll go. Yeah, this is nothing. 4 feet of ice. Yeah, we've been dealing with this all winter. No problem. Oh, we can ride snowmobiles there easy. Yeah. Like, oh, there's a trail. This is great.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, it's funny is like the meeting spot that we met at for that guided trip up in Winnipeg to get to where they have kind of this private access. You know, I was a little not nervous, but like going down this low maintenance road with my truck, and then the guide showed up in like a Chevy Impala, just balling
Yeah.
down.
So we think we're hardcore.
Yeah. No.
Twin Cities
Yeah,
crappies.
yeah.
That's pretty laid back.
Chevy Impala.
Yeah.
All right. I got another question.
Yeah.
Continuing down the holiday shopping thing. Question for both of you. You walk in the door. Mr. Scheels walks down, shakes your hand, says, "Great job, Logan, Dallas. Here's $1,000 for Scheels on anything you want to buy. What do you buy?" Logan, start us off. $1,000. Mr. Scheels himself's like, "Here's $1,000. You did a great job. Go in the store. You can buy whatever you want with your $1,000. It has to be at Scheels. What are you buying?" And it can be more than one thing.
I don't even know. $1,000?
Yeah, like live life on the edge. You know,
Right.
1,000 packs of M&Ms.
Yeah, maybe. No. There's a boatload of fishing stuff, probably.
Yeah, you just go crazy in the fishing section. I kind of figured that was going to be your answer.
Yeah.
So piles and piles of fishing gear.
Yep.
So new rods,
Reels, line.
reels, line, Vexilar, forward-facing sonar. Maybe. Well, you can't even get a forward-facing sonar for
No.
$1,000. So
No.
who am I kidding?
Not yet, at least.
Not yet. All right.
Touch on that. I mean, the prices of that stuff are starting to go down. If you come to our Fish Fest, you'll see some really good prices on
Nice.
forward-facing sonar.
So Logan would leave here with a shopping cart of fishing gear.
Yep.
100%.
How about you, Dallas?
Man, probably a similar story. Probably pick up a few new pairs of shoes. Man, I don't know. There's not really anything I've had my eye on.
More Megabass.
Probably.
Oh my God.
I'm
This time of year.
go open water. I'm kind
Yeah.
of a JDM nut. That's my thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. Yeah, definitely some new rods and reels. I'm trying to think of what else. I mean, there's so much here.
Yeah.
Pick up a couple flannels for winter.
Yeah. I'd probably get some clothes.
Yeah, what about you, Drew? What would your question?
Sarah
What
always
would your
rips on me for the old T-shirts and stuff I wear, so I probably have to get some new clothes. Probably a new pair of tennis shoes since my dog chewed up my pair of those too. I'm telling you, if you leave him by the door, like he's a puppy. He gets a little antsy. But
Right.
then I would probably get some. I don't know if I'd spend as much on fishing as you'd think.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at least this is my theory is when you're getting into fishing, you buy everything. You get all this stuff.
Yeah.
And then you realize what you really use a lot, and then you kind of narrow it down. Like
It's like
bass
20%.
fishing.
Yeah.
I'm like green pumpkin. Give me that, right? Like I don't need the crazy color. Like I know what works for what I do, and if I am going to a specific place like a Winnipeg, well, then I know I'm going to get the shiner color rattle bait or something, right?
Yeah.
So I don't need as much fishing stuff as I probably you'd think I'd get, but I'd probably get a lot of stuff just to make you more comfortable, like clothing, like good layers of clothing, warm stuff, maybe look at a heated something. Just some like newer stuff to the market, I guess, than traditional.
Yeah, I'm
clothing.
probably more on the lines of Drew. Like, I mean, there'd probably be a few fishing things I'd grab, but as lame as it sounds, being a father of four, I'd probably get some Christmas gifts knocked off my list.
Yeah. Yep.
But I would definitely be with Dallas. There'd be a new pair of shoes in my closet.
Yeah.
Probably some new clothes. I'm gonna probably get lost in the cooking and smoking section.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty certain I'm gonna have some barbecue sauces, some rubs,
Oh, yeah.
some things like that. The meter.
Yeah.
The meter will probably come home with me. And I know, honestly, the four of us aren't thinking of things we would get if we truly got to walk the store for a day and spend it.
Had to spend $1,000.
There's so much more here, I
Yeah.
mean, that you can get. So, pretty darn neat. I'm excited for the ice fishing season, and coming into stores like this time of year gets me more excited.
Mm-hmm.
When stores are set with ice fishing, and you go into the ice fishing section and it's buzzing. And it's funny because, like, we've come here and filmed before, this location, many other Scheels locations on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and we've seen it to where the store is somewhat slow some days, and then you get to the ice fishing section, and there's 30 people, 40 people in there shopping, and it's been crazy. And I came here one time. I don't know if it was this location, St. Cloud. I don't remember. It was for one of the ice fests.
Sure.
Remember, I walk in, and quite a few cars in the parking lot, and this was prior to the tents, where the Ice Fest were kind of
Inside,
done.
yeah.
Inside. I remember I'm like, oh, man, it's getting busy here today. Oh, boy, I got to do some Christmas shopping. And I walk in, and the cash registers, the gals and the guys are, hey, well, there's no one checking out. I'm like, this is weird. I walk through, I look to the left. I'm like, oh, there's a person looking at shorts and bikes and a person looking at shoes. This is weird. You can hear the hum. You walk up the stairs, you get upstairs, you go down to the Ice Fest section, you're like, there they are.
Yeah.
There's the crowd. So it is super exciting. I think the Ice Fest you guys put on are awesome. Well, like we said, they start this coming weekend, and they go scattered between now and the middle of December, depending on your location. I know this location here in Eden Prairie is the 17th and 18th of November. But I would check out Scheels Outdoors is the Facebook page you probably want to go to see where all these are going. There's some events. I do know that on the Scheels.com website, there's like a dealer locator, store locator, and then it'll list events based off of the location.
Yep.
So you can go find out the Scheels near you. So if you're listening and you're in Colorado, Johnstown's got a great location that has an Ice Fest.
Yeah.
If you're listening and you're in southeastern Minnesota, Rochester's got one.
Yep.
If you're in southern Minnesota, Mankato's got one. If you're in northwestern Minnesota towards North Dakota, Fargo's got one. So check out the various stores in your area, see what they got cooking. And even if they don't have an Ice Fest in your nearest Scheels store, you can still walk in there and get that same level of expert information. It's not just contingent on an Ice Fest event.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So you can still walk in, all the stuff we talked about, all the shopping you need to get done, all the Scheels locations are going to have that available for you. Pretty darn neat. So we've talked about a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, we have
All kinds of good stuff. Anything else you
of
guys
Scheels
want to
stuff.
hit on? Anything else you just want
Man.
to say, wave to mom? I don't know. Shout out anybody, or anything else you want to hit on before we wrap up our podcast?
Skull Vikes.
Skull Vikes.
dogs.
Logan is ready to rock.
Yeah.
If you
That's all I got.
Are you working on Sunday at noon?
Nope, I'll be watching.
You'll be watching the game. Okay,
Yep.
so you can't pester Logan here on Sunday at noon. He's going to be watching the Vikings get a W against the Saints.
Dang right.
All right. What about you, Dallas? Anything else?
No, I don't think I got anything, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we can't thank you guys enough, man. Your team is wonderful. We got here early today. The store wasn't opened. We text Tyler. He was down in a minute, let us in. We had people getting everything ready for a busy day. I think every person waved at you, said, hey, how you doing? Like, such a very welcoming place, and you can come in here and do all your fun shopping. But like I said, don't forget, you have to stop by the food and smoking section because we all need to eat. We all need to grub it up, and it's a whole lot of fun. If you haven't dabbled in that area of the world, you are so missing out.
It's a lot of fun.
It is missing fun. And Waldo, get my boy Logan some of these ribs, please.
Yeah, come
and
on,
while you're
Waldo.
at it, bring some for Dallas, too. Yeah. That's your punishment. Logan and Dallas get fed by Matt Waldron. Let's make it happen.
You heard it here first.
There you go. Well, thank you guys so much. Another episode of the Ice Team Podcast. We're coming at you from Scheels. Beautiful saltwater tank. Check it out. Do your shopping. Get ready for another ice fishing season and another Christmas season. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.